My computer's being very slow today. There we go. Alrighty, so getting started. This is going to be our soft opening meeting. So this soft opening is just for the volunteers. We're not opening back up to the public just yet. We're still slowing down on that. This is just to see how everything goes. Just as a reminder, we're not sure how everything's going to go. So please be patient with me and the staff. Um, just like last time, unfortunately, if something happens when the vet team comes in tomorrow to come check everything out, then and they deem it not safe enough to walk dogs, then please be prepared for that. And I'm sorry, but fingers crossed that everything stays good and we can get everyone back in and started back to normal, slowly back to normal. All right, but starting with our first slide, awesome, it changed. So as you guys know, we are revamping the volunteer program. So what we're doing right now, I am redoing the dog walking program. I know some people have pointed out in the past, like, oh, some of the questions were wrong and so on and so forth. So we're redoing that, updating the videos. So it's taken me a bit of time. My plan is to have it done by tomorrow morning, hopefully tonight, and it'll be up there. So it should be up pretty soon. We're going to ask all of our volunteers just to be on the safe side and make sure everyone's on the same page to please go back in and review all of those things to like get your qualifications back. I'm sure everyone's noticed that all the modules and everything has been down for better impact is just because we are redoing the program and it's just taken us a minute. But right now, dog walking is almost done and cat cuddler modules will be done by the end of the week to early next week. The only reason why dog walking came first is because we want our volunteers to get back in and start dog walking because that is crazy important right now. And like cat cuddling, we have like 10, 15 cats on the floor. Most of them are kittens and they're getting the daily love and attention and are getting out of their kennels and running around every day. So they're not as big as a priority, but we are working to get them back between this week and next week. Any questions about this before we move on? I am not seeing any raised hands, so I'm going to scooch on to the next slide and go ahead and get into the meat of things. Give me just 1 minute I did have a question. AP, if you want to unmute yourself. Uh, just a second. Are you having trouble? Oh, they wrote a comment in the chat. So they said, will better impact allow us to schedule shifts before requalifying? So better impact will not allow you to schedule shifts before requalifying. You do have to pass the quiz again, and the quiz will be updated to have the correct answers this time, and it will be according to the new videos that we put in each module. So you do have to like re-go through it and answer the questions before applying for shifts again. Right? But you guys won't have to do, obviously, the in-person training again. All right. Any other questions pertaining to that last slide? All right, so we're going to move on to the next one. So just like before with our canine influenza updates, most things are the same. There are still red and green zones. Red zones are for animals that are sick and for people that have interacted with those animals. So if you go into a red zone, you cannot go back into a green zone no matter what, under any circumstances. And green zones, they are for people that have not interacted with animals that are sick. So if you are in a green zone, we typically stay in the green zone. For instance, the volunteer lounge, me, Joanne, Cindy, we're all considered part of the green zone, so we cannot go to the adoption floor under any circumstance. If you are based in a green zone and you go into a red zone, you cannot come back. This is going to be a very strict rule. So please Please, 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 if you go into the adoption floor, make sure you have everything that you need with you. Or if you need to call or text me because you left something in the lounge, please let me know. I will also be keeping extra dog treats and stuff on the adoption floor in all the rooms. I'm asking the case to put them in there for you guys, so that way you won't have to come back to the room to restock. I will also have poop bags and all that good stuff up there too. So there should hopefully be no reason for you to have to come back to the lounge. We also have signs labeling which rooms are red and green, just so there's no confusion. Um, Also, if you do have to use the bathroom, the front public bathroom is considered a green zone. So if you go onto the adoption floor, you cannot use that bathroom. Please ask a staff member and they can let you back to the staff bathroom. Mm, the next thing is to get into the shelter, you do have to call the front desk. And the number is right here. It's 919-250-1481. If you can't reach the front desk, you can either call me or Megan to let you into the building, and we'll get you in right away. So we are going to be starting the soft opening tomorrow. We're starting it from 4 to 6 p.m. only. Okay, my
Danae,
watch started
excuse
telling me.
we're not seeing the slides.
Oh no, seriously? It went away. I'm sorry about that. Can you see the slide now?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Awesome. Don't know why it went away. uh, Let me check. I have the person messaging me. I think it was about the slide. Yeah, okay. So everyone can see the slide now. We're good to go back. Oh, and it switched over. We're gonna go back. Uh, okay, so yeah, so starting tomorrow, Monday, the 6th, we are going to only start dog walking and like volunteers coming in from 4 to 6 p.m. only for tomorrow. But then from Tuesday on, we will have volunteers come in from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. The only reason why we're doing a late start tomorrow is because I want the vet team to get a chance to get into, like, do their evaluations on the floor. And just in case if something happens, we have time to like say, sorry guys, like we can't do dog walking anymore, which hopefully won't happen, fingers crossed. But it'll also give me a chance to like make sure everything's good for the dog walking module and make sure it's up and going and give everyone time to get that watched before coming in to volunteer that day. So that's the only reason why we're doing the late start. As I had mentioned previously, we will have our dog walkers leave only through the DD or the DE doors. Uh, so when you leave out the DD or DE door, I'm going to have you guys walk around to the front, and we're going to have a box sitting on the benches right in front of the doors. If you could just put your supplies and stuff in that, I'll take care of it from there, since you can't come back into the building since you're going to be considered red. But there will be boxes out there. If you can just throw it in there, I will take care of it from there, deep clean everything, and have it ready for the next set of volunteers. Any questions for this slide before we move on? I'm going to give everybody a chance if anyone needs to raise their hand. All right. I'm not seeing anyone raise their hand or typing in chat, so I'm going to move on to the next one. All right, so going a little bit more over dog walking. So when you come in, you're going to grab your supplies as usual. You're going to come into the volunteer lounge, put on your apron, get whatever supplies you need. All the dogs will have their leashes and collars on their kennel in a kennel jacket. So you don't have to worry about grabbing those. The vet team will put that on there for us, so they'll be good to go. Only thing you should have to grab is, if you want a spray bottle, um, an apron, and a bunch of treats. Uh, uh, uh. When you go to the adoption floor, you're going to choose one set of rooms to walk in. So you can choose the pairing DADC, or you can choose the pairing DBDD, or just dog room E by itself, because that room is pretty huge. It has a lot of dogs in it. So volunteers, still the same thing. We can only walk a max of 6 dogs. We're asking for a minimum of 15 minutes per walk. If you want to walk for like 15 to 30 minutes, then please feel free. The longer the better because they have been in their kennels for a while. Yes, the kennel attendants have been taking them out for walks, but I'm pretty sure they would be very happy for an even longer walk. Only walk dogs that have leashes and collars and a sign saying that they're eligible to walk on their kennel. We're going to go over this in in the next slide a little bit further. But are there any questions about this before I move on to the next slide? All right. I don't see anyone raising their hands or typing in chat, so I'm going to move on. So one thing that is a bit different is I have had time to make a walkable dog board. So as soon as you go into the adoption floor, immediately to your left, there's that cork board there. I'm sure you guys passed it and seen it before. So I made a little section. I'm going to skip to the next slide to like show it a little bit. So it looks like this. It has dog room A and dog room C beside each other. So you guys know that it's a pairing. Here, I don't know if you guys can see my mouse, but this is dog room A and dog room C. These are all the dogs that are available for walking. We have one in A. He's just not up there at the moment, but I will put him up there tonight. And then the pairing dog room B and dog room D. So these are all the dogs that are available to walk in their room, and then all the dogs in dog room E. Each one is color coded. So for instance, dog room A, it's purple. Dog room C is yellow. Dog room B is blue, and dog room D is orange. And dog room E is green. Almost skipped that one. So the plan is this is an example of each dog's card, walkable dogs card. So you have the dog's picture, so you know what they look like. And also, if you see like it's a really bad picture, please feel free to take new pictures while you're on your walk and send them to me so I can update them so they can have pretty ones. But it has the dog's picture, their name, and their ID number, so you make sure you have the correct animal. If they have a blue sticker, that will be on there as well as the letterings of what's their difficulty is. And then it has walked at. So each dog can be walked a max of 4 times a day. So say you come in the morning and you're like, okay, let's get started, ready to go. I want to walk Freckles. You're going to take down the card from off this cork board, take it into the room with you. And then when you're all done walking, you're going to put down the time that you walked them, bring them back to the cork board, pin them back up there so the next volunteer knows, hey, this dog's been walked once, you can move on to the next one. Or if everyone's done, okay, I want to walk you again. It's been a minute since you've last walked. All right, I'm going to head back to our previous slide that was going over this, but that was just a little information so you can have a visual as I talked about it. So once you decide which rooms you'll be walking in, take up to 6 dog signs down and bring them with you to the rooms that you're walking. You can take them one at a time, or you can take all 6 at the same time. Or if you're in a room where there's like maybe 2, 3 dogs available to walk, like DA, there's only 1 dog right now, then you only take that 1 sign, but it's also tagged with another room, so you can take more. So each dog, like I said, can be walked up to 4 times a day. That's what each of those little spaces were. So you can write each timestamp that was that you walked them. Uh, I'm going to ask if the first volunteer that comes in the morning, if you could please wipe all the cards clean with a nacelle wipe. I'll have that right beside the board so you can get access to it. But it'd be super helpful for everyone that comes after. I'm also going to ask the front desk if they can wipe it down for us. But if they're unable to, and you come in and see that everyone has like timestamps and everything, if you could wipe it down, that would be amazing. All right. Any questions about this before we move on to the next slide? There are a couple questions in chat. So yes, the play yard is off limits. I had a question for that. The next question was, I think dogs are only allowed to walk to the left of the shelter. DI dogs are allowed to walk to the right by the gates, just an FYI. That's a very good point. So yeah, so we're only I believe you are right. We are only walking to the left of the shelter, so that's going down towards that big cul-de-sac instead of going towards the main road. I forget the name of that road, but we're only going to have our volunteers walk all of the dogs on the floor down that road, if that's okay. Thank you for mentioning that. Mm, So it would be one of the questions, the next one, wouldn't it be easier to put the 38 walkable dogs into other rooms? So we have discussed this, making a separate room for the animals that are done with their medication and better. However, the only issue is we are just so full in the adoption floor. Like there's no space to pick and move everyone to a different room. So it's just extremely difficult. That's why we're like really, really asking our community and help from our rescue partners, fosters, volunteers to like pull dogs from the floor so we can have that room to help them one feel better for sure, and two so we can move them and separate them so they're not all just getting each other sick again. So that was a really, really good suggestion. It's just really, really upsetting because we're just so full that we can't get them. So sorry about that. But we are working to do that as soon as we get more space on the floor. We want to move separate people. The next question was, do we still write on their kennel jackets or just the cards? I There's no need to write on the kennel jackets at the moment if you want to be sure. If you forget to write on their new card, you can feel free to write on the kennel jacket. But I prefer that you write it on just the cards, um, just so people can see it immediately and keep going if that dog's already been walked once a day. So we're going to pause on writing on their kennel jackets and mostly focus on the dogs. The next question was, agree, we should only take one card at a time so others can take the other dogs. Yes, for sure. Please take one card at a time, and come back, tack it up, grab the next dog you're ready to walk. When you're done, write their time, tack it back up. It's probably going to be more efficient. Yes, you're walking a little bit more back and forth to get to the board, but if there's another person that's able to take that dog right away so they don't have to wait until you're done walking that one dog, that would be ideal. All right. The next question was still the same thing. But yeah, I appreciate that, you guys. We have a person raising their hand. Give me just a moment. Beth, if you wanted to go ahead and unmute yourself.
Yes, Danielle, I was just wondering about the date. There's really no reason to put a date. I mean, we're assuming there's going to be lots of walkers every day. So, I don't know. Is the date necessary? Maybe I'm confused about that.
Got you. So I didn't think uh, it was necessary to write down the date. Um, Here, I'm gonna go back to the slide that showed the example of the card really quickly. So it doesn't show the date anywhere on the card. This is just the timestamp. So if you walk them at 10:30 a.m. or 12:52 p.m., that's it. I was going to ask if the first volunteer or if the front desk staff, as soon as they get in, first thing you do is wipe down all the cards so it's a clean slate. That way there's no need for us to write the date every single day. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, I guess so.
Got you.
I don't know.
Mm,
I guess that
Um,
makes sense. Seeing that people would definitely do that. Yeah, we'll just try it and see how it works, I guess.
right. Yeah, if it's going to be a little chaotic at first, yes. So if it's like absolutely necessary for us to write their date on the top of the card, the entire card is laminated so we can wipe it clean. If you want to write the date in the top corner, like, hey, this dog was walked today, it's November 6th, and I've already walked this dog, then that's perfectly fine. But I think it's fine if we forego writing the dates on each card because we're going to be wiping it clean every single morning and know like this is fresh new today. Like they have not gone out whatsoever.
Okay, sounds good.
Cheer. Thank you, Beth. All right, we have another hand raised. It was Melissa. If you wanted to go ahead and mute yourself.
Yeah, thanks. I just wanted to ask, you were mentioning that maybe the front desk staff could handle the board, but are they not in a green zone?
Um, I'm sorry, someone that messaged me personally. Could you mind repeating that question for me, please?
Sure. You were talking about maybe the front desk staff could handle wiping the board in the morning, but I would assume the front desk area is green zone, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So they,
Um,
right, because the board is, the board is, where's the board? What zone is it in?
it is in the red zone. It is on
Yeah.
the adoption floor. Thank you for bringing that up. So originally we were gonna have the board um on the hallway on that whiteboard where the volunteer lounge was, and that was the original plan to have the front desk wipe it off for us in the morning. But I did not think about that because it is in the red zone. Then I will talk to either the vet team or the kennel attendants to have them wipe it off in the morning when they first come in, instead of front desk. Thank you for mentioning that.
Thank you.
No problem. That was a very good catch. All right, we have another hand raised. Kim, would you like to unmute yourself?
No, I'll raise it again because I forgot what I was going to ask. I'll come back.
Oh no. Okay. I'll come check back on you. I'm gonna check on the chat in the meantime since there's no other hands raised. Give me just one moment. Uh, um, sorry. I'm looking through the chat. Is the board that, yes, it is the big board. Oh, excuse me. Let me read the question. Is this the board that had the big heart made out of thumbtacks? Yes, it is. So as soon as you walk onto the adoption floor, immediately to your left, it's that big, huge cork board. It's hard to miss. The next one was, how will we get into the building? So you will still get into the building the same way. You're going to go in through the front door where the lobby is. When you come into the building, you're automatically green, so you're okay to come through the lobby. It's just when you go onto the adoption floor, then you cannot come back into the lobby. But when you come in for the morning, you are going to be calling the front desk. I'm going to go back to the previous slide one more time, just so you can see the phone number, but you're going to call me or the front desk. Phone number, once again, is 919-250-1481. And if they don't answer, then call me or Megan and we'll let you in. All right. Were there any other questions before we moved on to the next slide? I'm going to bounce back. Did you happen to remember your question, Kim?
Well, no, but maybe this was it. I'm not sure. So originally you said we could pull more than one card. If I go in, like if I'm one of the first ones and I know out of the 38 dogs or whatever, there's like 4 that I definitely know I can walk because, I normally use the yard. Is it okay for me to pull those 4 cards? So I know I have some dogs that I can walk safely?
Yep, that's totally fine. If you know
Okay.
you want to walk those 4 specifically, then yes, that is okay.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Oh, there was another question in the chat, so I'm going to check that. Please say the front desk number again. I had to find a pin, of course. Let me go back and get it back up. So the front desk phone number is 919-250-1481. I can also type it into chat too. Give me just a second, so it'll be there. Oh, nope, someone already put it in. Thank you. But you have to, there's another question in chat, but you have to stay in the zones, correct? I think your question got cut off, so you can't just choose cards. So you can only choose cards from the zones that you're going to be within. Okay, so I'm going to go back again to the slide that showed the picture. So say you chose the room pairing DA and DC, you can only choose cards from those 2 rooms. Or if you come in and you're like, I want to walk dogs from DB and DD, that zone pairing, then you can only choose 6 cards from those 2 rooms. Or if you come in and you say, I want to do DE, you can only choose cards from those rooms, so on and so forth. So you have to stay within your specific zone. You cannot transfer between rooms. Did that answer the question? All right. I'm not seeing any type mark, so I'm going to assume that it did. If you do have another question pertaining to that, then please let me know and I'd be happy to answer. But I'm going to go back and we're going to go on to the next slide. Give me just one moment. Oh, I do have another hand raised. Janet, did you have a question?
Yes, I wondered if there's someone we could make a note of who's already walking in a room so that when someone comes in maybe a little later, they'll know that there's already maybe 2 people in a room and they may not need anybody else to go into those rooms and get, then not be able to go into another room.
That's a good.
I just wondered how we could know if we're not right there, everyone's not starting at the same time. We might not know who's where to ask where should we go.
That's a good question. Hmm. That is a good
I
point.
mean,
Uh,
if you
This
take
is
all the,
Lisa. You can just look at the cards at the time in the cards.
That's true, but if we're taking, like, for instance, if we're taking down one card at a time, the person doesn't know, oh, there's like 3 people walking right now in DADC. Maybe I should get started in DE. So I think it's more towards that kind of question. Oh, that is a very good question. Let's see how we
I
can get.
wonder if
Oh,
we should put our name on the board and put what time we got there maybe and where we are.
yes. So what I can do in the lounge, when you guys come into the lounge, uh, I have been making little laminated pieces of papers for that are blank. I can make a bunch of those and I can leave them by this cork board and you can tack your name up there like, hey, I'm in this room right now walking these dogs. That way you can let the other people know, hey, I'm already walking. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I think that's a really, really great question. Really, really great question. Um, I'll go ahead and prep that tonight, but just to repeat, just so everyone understands, I will make blank laminated cards. What you're going to do, you're going to write your name on that card and tack it into the room pairing that you're in. So if you're in dog room A and dog room C, tack your name up underneath that those 2 rooms. All right. Everyone good with that? I'm going to
Yeah.
check the chat because there is questions in there. Oh, look, the guest already said the exact same thing. That was beautiful. Laminate a piece of blank paper, label DADB and so on, and have people write their names and remove it when they leave. Perfect.
Good, good.
Okay, we have another hand raised. I'm going to move on to that. Was there anything else that you had to ask, Janet, before I moved on?
No, thank you.
Awesome. Okay, then Kim, you had a question?
Yes, so since we're, not all going to be probably done with going on onboarding again, and so we can sign up to be scheduled, can you at least put out a Facebook post and say, just for at least the first week until we all get back in, who's coming on, if you can say what day you're coming in and what time, just so we know, because if there's only, so many dogs and 8 people are coming in the morning, I'd rather, we'd rather come in at different times so all the dogs can get out more than once. Does that make sense?
Yes, for sure. I can make a Facebook thread uh, of who is coming in and who's not. What my original plan was to make a Google Calendar and just have people put themselves up there. However, if you don't have a Google account, you won't be able to get access to it, unfortunately, to like put your name up there. So for people that don't have access to the Facebook group, that is the part where I'm struggling to find a way for you guys to let us know, hey, I'm coming in. Or if you want to just email me saying, hey, I'm coming in at this date at this time, I can add it myself to the Facebook thread so everyone else can know. So if you do not have a Facebook, please email me saying, hey, I'm coming in Tuesday from 10 to 12. Then I will add you to the Facebook thread. Is that a good deal?
Yeah,
Awesome. And I can make a new thread daily if that's okay. Like say Monday, these people are coming in from 4 to 6. Tuesday, these people are coming in. Like a new thread every day.
okay.
There was a question in chat that said, a calendar would be so much easier than having to read through all the threads. I agree. I can still make it into a calendar. Just those that don't have a Google account won't be able to see it. So I feel like those guys will probably have to be the ones that read through the threads. I'm perfectly fine with making it a calendar. I had it set up and ready to go. I just needed to add people on there. That was the only hiccup that I ran into for it. All right. Any other questions, comments, concerns before we move on to the next slide? I got another hand raised. Beth, if you wanted to go ahead and unmute yourself.
You know, Danielle, what about the laminated cards with our names on them? When we put them on the cork board, you said just remove them. Do you need to say where you want us to put them since we can't go back into the green area?
I will have a bucket beside the room that has the blank laminated cards. So you
Okay,
can just wipe it off and throw it back in the bucket.
throw it back in the bucket. Gotcha. Thank
Mhm.
you.
No problem. All right. Good question. All right. Anyone else? Great. Larry, did you have a question? I see like you're
Yes.
waving your hand.
Would you mind saying the phone numbers of you and Megan, please?
Yes.
Or because I'd like to make sure that they're correct.
Yes, of course. Here, I forgive me. I have not memorized my own work number. I only have my personal number memorized. So let me pull it up really quickly. All right. So for my work phone number, it is, oh, it just went away. Come back. 984-302-2732. All right. Just to repeat, 984-302-2732. And that is my work number, cell phone number. All right. And let me pull up Megan's. Okay. And Megan's, her work cell phone number is 919-291-4559. Right. And to repeat that one more time, 919-291-4559.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. I have another hand raised. Lisa, did you have a question?
Yeah, more of clarification, just to make less work for yourself. Didn't we say you were just going to laminate a blank sheet and put it up on the board and we would write our name down, what rooms we're in, and then when we leave, we erase it versus having for you to make 24 laminated cards?
Uh, yes. So I will take a blank piece of paper, laminate it, cut it up into strips, and then when you guys get here, you'll write your name, tack it into the room. When you're all done, there will be a cell wipes by the board. Wipe it off with your dry erase. Wipe it off with the Excel wipe. Put it back in the bucket. Next person can use it. All right. All good.
Versus just having one 8 by 11 piece on the board itself?
No. I'm going to cut that into smaller strips. So it'll probably be like
Like
2 by
why?
3 inches.
Why?
Uh, so I'm going to cut it into smaller pieces so it doesn't take up the entire board. Oh, well, you're right. I guess I can have like one little piece of paper and be like, oh, you can write your name on there. That makes a lot more sense. That makes it less complicated.
Yeah. You don't need to make work for yourself. This is difficult enough.
Honestly, that I've been cutting paper all day, so I guess I'm just like in a cutting paper mood. Like all the little thingies that you guys see up there, half my day was spent making those and cutting them out. So
I believe it.
thank you for saying that. But yes, I can just have a whole sheet of paper and I'll write DADB or DADC and just write your name that you're in that room.
Perfect.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for that. Save me some work. All right, I'm gonna hop back into the chat. Looks like we have a question there. One piece of paper, write the name on the page. That's all they said. Yes, thank you for that. Okay. Um, one more time. Any other questions or anything before we move on? All right. I think we're good this time. All right, so I'm going to go back a slide. So, as you guys know, um, yes, the KAs have been walking these guys daily. However, they still have been basically in isolation because there was a lot of dogs and not a lot of kennel attendants, unfortunately. So, a lot more dogs have blue stickers now than we'd prefer ourselves. So we're asking for a lot of our experienced dog walkers to come in because 19 out of the 34 total dogs that we have walkable, they all have blue stickers right now. And some of them, they range from mouthy to jumpy to like being reactive. We still have our normal ones like Cecilia. We know she's a little bit dog reactive, so nothing changed with her. But we have new ones now, and yeah, we're just letting you guys know if you know that you're not comfortable walking the more experienced dogs that need that extra oomph to make sure everyone's safe. Just heads up, we do have just a couple that are um, not blue stickered, so heads up for everyone. The next one was wear long sleeves and pants. We are pushing this for everyone to keep yourself safe because since, like I said, a lot of the animals have been amped up, they've been jumping up all over the place. I don't want you guys to get hurt. I'd rather everyone be safe. And since I haven't been on the adoption floor, kennel attendants have been telling me, warn the volunteers when they come back, they are going to jump all over you. So I'm just recommending wear long sleeves and long pants so you don't get your arms all scratched up and ruin your beautiful skin. I don't want that for you guys. So that's the only reason, but up to your discretion. If you're like, it's too hot outside, I don't wanna, and you're fine with it, that's up to you. But I am just pre-warning you guys now. Please, please wear long sleeves and pants. Next, spray water bottles will be provided for you guys. They will be in the lounge and can be found in the playgroup supply drawer. If you don't know where that is, then just let me know and I can point it out to you and I can show you. Um, we're going to be bringing them in tomorrow. Megan's getting like a whole bunch of them. That was another thing that kennel attendants suggested for the volunteers because like I said, some of them have been getting really hyped up because they're like, oh my gosh, I'm going outside, I'm so excited. And they said the water bottles really do help them like calm down, like, okay, let me back off a little bit. So we will be providing that for you guys. And same thing, when you leave for the day, you're going to be putting it in the box by the front door for me to take back, put back into the lounge so the next person can use it, and I'll sanitize everything, of course. All right. The next thing, please follow staff instructions. If a KA, they're going to be the ones mostly on the floor, along with the receiving animal healthcare tech team. They're going to be on the floor more often. I'm not going to be on the floor as much, but they will. So if they give you direction or instruction in the moment, please do as they ask. If you have concern with the instruction, then just reach out to me privately and I'll handle it. But just in the time, please do what they ask. We're only reason why I like bring this up is because we've gone so long, like since we shut down, um, even with the animals getting amped up and being extra mouthy, no one has gotten bit. And like everyone's been doing pretty well in keeping everyone safe. So we want to continue that streak for the animals because we want them to be safe. We want to do our best to get a live release because if they bite someone, then we can't rehome them. We really, really don't want that. That's why we're working so hard to get these guys out of here. So if a staff member comes up to you and lets you know, like, hey, please don't do this or please do this, that's the only reason. It's because we care about the animals. We don't want you getting hurt and we don't want anything to happen to the animal. That's the only thing. It's not coming from a place where they're like, oh my gosh, how dare you do so and so and so. It's not like that at all. We just want to keep you guys safe and the animals safe. That's all. All right, so before we move on to our final slide, did anyone have any questions about that? while I wait for people to raise their hands, I did notice we get something in the chat. We had a question, why do we have to wear long sleeves and pants? I think that was going over like at the beginning of the slide. Like I said earlier, you're not required to, but I am strongly suggesting you wear long sleeves and pants because they are going to jump up on you, and I don't want you guys to get scratched or anything like that. So that's just me being extra safe. Are there any other questions? No? Awesome. Okay, we're gonna move on to our final slide. Once again, this is the reference of the board. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me about the board, but since I was on the slide for a really long time, I'm gonna skip past it. The last, oh, well, it's not the last slide. I lied. I have one more and I added it. So cat cuddling. So we are looking to have cat cuddlers coming back in towards the end of the week / the beginning of next week. So I'm really sorry. I know I have a bunch of cat cuddlers. You guys are amazing. I want you guys back at the building. The cats miss you. I miss you. We're working on getting you guys back in really soon. The only reason why cat cuddlers are coming back at the same time is because, like I said, I am redoing the modules. So dog walking took the priority. So I am like working crazy to get that one updated and make sure all the information is correct. So when you guys redo the modules, you're all good. You won't have to do it again. And then as soon as I'm done with that one tomorrow, cat cuddling, things are kind of staying the same. I'm just updating it a little bit to make it look prettier. And in case there was something that was missed in the videos or extra information in little tidbits, I want to include that so you guys are all on the same page. So cat cuddling will be coming back very soon if you guys don't mind just hanging on for a couple more days, I promise. I do want to let you guys know that we only have around 10 to 15 cats, which are mostly kittens in the same kennel together on the adoption floor right now, and they have been getting out of their kennels. They've been playing and receiving enrichment frequently, literally every single day. I was talking to one of the kennel attendants earlier today, and they had like the whole pack of kittens out running around the room, and it was super duper cute. And they do that every day for every single cat in the room, and they clean up in between them. So they are not as stressed as the dogs are because they have a little bit more freedom. So cats are doing well, I promise. All right, I'm gonna go back and check on our chat if there are any questions. I do see a hand raised. Kim, if you want to go ahead and unmute yourself.
Yes, so when we come in, I have my own badge, but we still need to sign in. How do we sign out if we can't get back to the front to sign out? Or are we not having to required to do that now?
I do want you guys to still sign in. I can move the badge book outside to in front of the building with a table. So that way, when you're coming into the building, you sign in there. And then when you have to come back and walk to the front of the building and you have to put all your supplies there, you can sign out right there.
And will we still be able to use the time on the Impact app if we wanted to start it, or will it not show up on our record yet unless we've done all the modules?
Yes. If you haven't done the modules, then no, you won't be able to start the clock. But if you just send me an email or a quick text, I can add it into your account for you.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Good question. That was a good point. Didn't think about signing out. All right, I'm going to go back and take a peek at the chat. In the chat, we have a comment saying KAs are trying to coordinate with vet team to get everyone's nails trimmed, but it won't be able to be done all at once. Everyone's nails are very sharp right now. So, yes, so that is also why I am really strongly urging long sleeve, because everyone's nails are super sharp and I don't want anyone to get scratched and all that other stuff. So that is one of the KAs I'm assuming right now in the chat. So yes, please wear long sleeves. Moving on to the next chat question in the chat. Mentor cat cuddlers never received our own badges. Thank you for bringing that up. We recently got a bunch of badges in for all of our mentors, so we will be handing those out very soon. Um, if you are a mentor, please, the next time you come in, connect with either me or Megan, and we can get your mentor badge back out to you. Thank you for that. Very good heads up. Right. Any other questions for this slide? All right, I'm not seeing anything yet, so I'm going to move on to our very last slide, and I mean it this time, very last one. Oh, yeah. Oh, goodness. Just like we were saying before, for cat cuddling, same thing. Come in, grab your supplies, cuddle the cats as usual. Please wash your hands between each cat kennel. We're doing a separate thing for cat badges. Cat badges do not need one with a badge. Only grab the ones that have just keys. And same thing, leave through the DEDD door. Okay, I forgot I had that one. This one's the last one.
Closed Friday. Okay.
So we do have a holiday coming up this weekend. On Friday, we will be closed to the public, even though we already are closed to the public. But just like normal, volunteers can come in. I will bump the walking time from 10 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. You guys can come in at 7:30 and walk until the staff leaves, which is normally around 11 to 12 p.m. So we can't stay past that time. Like as soon as staff finishes, everyone has to leave the building because since the building is closed, the county requires us to leave. Like we cannot stay behind. We can't get overtime. As soon as you're done, we gotta go, unfortunately. That is one of the rules that they will not let us break. So like I said, you guys can feel free to come in from 7:30 a.m. until staff leaves. After that, everyone does have to leave the building. And we'll be back to regular business Saturday morning. All right. Any questions for this slide?
I have one other question. I'm sorry.
Yes.
So why can't we use the dog yard? I'm just curious.
So the dog yard is being used right now for, correct me if I'm wrong, because I think one of the KAs are in the chat. It's being used for DI dogs, which are green right now. So that's the only place where they can go to use the bathroom and run around, and everyone else gets everywhere else, basically. Like we split up which animals can go to which parts. Just so like.
So we can't,
Mm.
so we will not be able to, you said we can't walk on the side of the shelter. We have to go down to the cul-de-sac way, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm. All right. But here, I see who I think is a KA in the chat typing right now. So I'm going to wait for them to finish just to make sure I'm just not completely wrong, because they're the ones dealing with the adoption floor rooms and like where the animals go more than I am. So forgive me for that. I'm trying to keep up with it as best as I can. It's just a lot. In the meantime, does anyone have any other questions? It could be about the holiday or it can be about coming in to volunteer in general while we wait for them to finish typing. Right. I think we are doing good so far. Okay, so they finished typing in chat. So what they said is play yard is DI protective custody dogs only. They're red dogs, but they cannot be around the general population since they're ongoing court cases, legalities, so on and so forth. So we absolutely cannot have those dogs get sick whatsoever. So they have to have their own private little area. Thank you for that. I think that's Gracie. Thank you. um, so that's why the play yard is off limits. Oh, uh, thank you, Lisa. I appreciate that. She just said that, like, doing an awesome job keeping us well informed. Doing my best. Uh, but besides that, were there any questions? Because I am all done with our presentation. That was the last one. All right. I am not seeing anyone raise their hand or any typing in the chat. I think we're closed Saturday. I was told only Friday for being closed, but I will follow up on that. If we are closed Saturday as well, I will post a Facebook post. I have to make a Facebook post and send an email out to everyone, regardless about the holidays, to let everyone know as a reminder. But right now, all I know is I was told only for Friday. K schedule says Friday and Saturday. Oh no. Okay, I will. We are closed Friday and Saturday. Okay, that's two people, that staff that said it. So yeah, I'm going to make a change on the holiday closure slide. We are going to be closed Friday and Saturday. So the 10th and the 11th, we will be only coming in from 7:30 a.m. to 12 p.m. Well, until staff leaves, excuse me. Thank you for that. I will make a Facebook post and an email send out for everyone just to make sure everyone's on the same page and no one's confused, just to be safe. And oh, we had another comment that said, thank you to the KAs for extending the energy to everyone in the shelter. We appreciate that. All right. Okay, if there's no other questions regardless, and no other corrections for me, thank you, staff members that are in the chat. Then I am all done with this meeting. I'm so excited to have you guys back in the building. I know the animals are excited to have you guys back and get back on those walks, and soon cats to be cuddled. I'm sure you guys are looking forward to coming back in too, because it's been way too long. It's been too quiet here without you guys. Can't wait. All right. But other than that, thank you guys so much for showing up and listening to me talk on and on.
Thank you.
Thank
You're
you,
welcome.
Danae. We appreciate it.
No problem. And once again, if you have any questions, just shoot me an email or a text, and I got you guys.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye. Have a good night,
Bye. Good
everyone.
night. Good
Good
night.
night.
Bye.